Well, in 1958, KGHL Radio in Billings expanded to television when KGHL TV signed on the air. The call letters would eventually be changed to KULR or KULR-8. I spoke with Virginia Smith, who was there that day nearly 60 years ago when the station went live on the air. She's one of the colorful characters in the history of KULR-8, and tonight she shares some of her favorite memories of the early days. The day, March 15th. The year, 1958. And precisely at 4 p.m., the magical era of television expanded in the Magic City.
All fields of human endeavor, we think we'll be able to.
Virginia Smith was there that day when the switch was flipped in the control room, bringing KGHL TV, now KULR-8, to life. The historical nature of which was actually lost on everyone in the room.
We were exhausted. We'd been working 7-day weeks for about 2 months and about 12-hour days. We all assembled dutifully and the station signed on and we just went, okay, whatever, and went back to work.
And work they did. A staff of about 20, most of whom had no prior experience working in TV, went about the daily business of getting the news on the air.
We had one newscast. It was known pretty much as a rip and read newscast because it was just you rip the stuff off the AP wire and away you went.
And forget about the small portable cameras and other technology of today.
We didn't have a handheld mic. There was no such thing. All we had was the studio cameras.
She remembers when a tornado went through South Park in Billings. They only had one option to cover the story.
All we could do is send a reporter down who'd bring back information. There's no way in the world we could do any kind of film remote.
Virginia worked in copy and production, responsible for setting up commercials in the studio, which were all done live because there were no commercial breaks. As Virginia says,
when you were on the air, you were on the air.
And Thursday night was grocery night. Everybody worked to help set up commercials so the live announcers could pitch the product of the day, sometimes more smoothly than others.
One of our announcers was doing a spot. He was supposed to say, ground round. He couldn't get it out of his mouth. He went back about 4 different times and took a stab at it. And he finally said, oh, ask for hamburger.
She also remembers a little mischief taking place. She says one of the anchors had quite the ego and made it a habit to antagonize everybody on staff. So someone decided to teach him a lesson, altering the lights called cluster spots used to reduce shadows on set.
One night, I have no idea how this could have happened. The cluster spots got replaced by heat lamps. He lost about 10 pounds in the course of the newscast. The water was running off of him like Niagara Falls.
Mischief and hijinks aside, there was an awful lot of hard work being done and new trails being blazed, including a groundbreaking moment in the history of local television.
We did the first local remote. We televised St. Pat's Midnight Mass.
It was quite the undertaking with no portable cameras. At the time, the station was on 30th Street across the alley from St. Pat's, so they physically pushed and pulled the big studio cameras across the alley, somehow even managing to muscle one of them up into the choir loft.
The engineers had to order cable that we could string across the alley. It was huge. We were so proud of ourselves.
Over the years, there were a lot of occasions to be proud, and today, Virginia still is. Though she moved on from her career in television, becoming a published author, among other things, she's content knowing she was a part of history that day in March 1958, and really, every day since.
I wouldn't do it again for any amount of money, but I'll always be glad that I was part of that. It's one of those things that, you know, being the foundational part of anything, I think, is kind of a treat.
And we know without a doubt, Virginia, you are a treat. It is a special year for all of us here at KULR-8, celebrating 60 years of serving your community, which is our community too. So stay tuned for more stories highlighting the rich history of KULR-8.